Henry, you have this unique approach to meditation with these four key zones that you briefly mentioned. Can you please share more about these four zones?
Yeah, happily. I mean, what the four zones are in Henry's view, and by the way, this is not, this is, in a way, this is just my adjustment of some other teaching schemes that are very old, but there's a old teaching in Zen that goes back to the 6th century that says there are four kinds of practice. And then there's another one from, I think, the 10th century that says that no, there are 5 kinds of practice. So I've just adjusted it into terminology for today, which is that the first zone of practice is mindfulness. It's learning to be more present in a kind of balanced and stable way that calms the nervous system and opens us up more to the richness of experience here and now, both outward, and also opens us up to our inward experience, our thoughts and feelings, becoming more aware of them and more able to appreciate them and cherish them and be loving towards ourselves and the experience we're having and towards other people. I call all of that is under the bracket of mindfulness. And then there's this, we call it zone 2, which is opening up to connectedness, to the fact that we do not actually live independently. Of course we have responsibility ourselves for how we navigate life and help others and so on, and reduce harm. But we are made up of all these things that are sort of given to us, that support our life. Our very flesh is supported by what we're allowed to eat, are given to eat, and of course we breathe every breath, every moment, the air is supporting us, and so on. And then there's all the people in our lives who without whom we wouldn't be alive, or our ancestors, the culture we live in, and so on. There's just that recognizing the degree to which we aren't isolated, independent entities, I think is an important dimension of practice, and it's also where we can, our hearts can become more tender, we can appreciate music and beauty and poetry, and just have a sort of deeper side to life that opens up for us. But that's, again, it's not about awakening to the non-dual, it's just about deepening in our sense of belonging in this world and being connected. And then the third zone for us is about absorption or flow states. These are recognized in the great traditions. They call it either samadhi or jhana states, is a term in Buddhism. It's about the sense of self goes quiet. It's not so much that we see through it, but it goes quiet and we sort of switch gear and we feel that we're carried by energies and by the moment and by experience right now, and don't have to do so much. In fact, we need to do very little. Of course, athletes, musicians, and people working intensely on some project will sometimes get into flow states, and there's a lot of research on them that's been going on. There was a famous guy, Csikszentmihalyi, who studied at the University of Chicago, who studied flow states beginning in the 1970s, who found that the more somebody tastes flow in their life, generally the happier they are, the more satisfied with life they are. And meditation has always had this side to it that the traditions have known about, of getting into these states they call samadhi, which are really flow states, basically. And then the fourth quote-unquote zone is about non-duality. But we sort of, I think that these first 3 zones are totally valuable, and so I kind of disagree a little bit with some traditions that say it's all about awakening. Awakening is the only thing that matters. You've got to get clear on who you really are, who you really aren't. It's totally I totally agree how important that is, but I actually think the other things are important as well. And we need to have a kind of integrated, wholesome path of practice if we're going to be maximally helpful in this world.
And so that's actually exactly the journey that we lead a user on in the app. So we start with mindfulness and we break that down into some key topics, the outer senses, the inner senses, the hindrances. Then we move them on to support, that second zone. And again, there's a kind of breakdown of key topics there. Then to flow, and all of this is taking place over months, like it's a long-term course. And then after flow, they're ready for and a kind of an immersion into that fourth zone of awakening. So it's highly structured, and the advantage of that is that we have the best chance at preparing a student actually for then arriving at that that awakening into the kind of awakening realm. And of course, there's no guarantee that it's going to click, it's going to work, right? That's one of the perpetual mysteries and frustrations of the non-dual reality. But what we do is that at the end of that awakening section of the curriculum, it doesn't end. We then start to go back through the same four zones: mindfulness, support, flow, awakening, but at a deeper level. And so that everyone has multiple chances to kind of connect with all the teaching, and it's sort of just it just continues going deeper and deeper and touching on the same topics from multiple angles, hopefully in a very kind of fulfilling and productive from a meditative journey perspective.